Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we are going to be building a vet clinic in Chestnut Ridge. So even though the vets have nothing to do with horses, I thought it would be fun to build a vet clinic here. And of course I start with the horse paddock because I want to make sure even if the vets can't care for our horses, at least they have somewhere to go if your sim comes here with their dog or cat and they also have a horse who wants to tag along. They have a nice covered area to go to lay down in a horse bed. There's some feeding troughs and some water troughs as well, and some things to do for them. I think I put in 2 of the exercise balls, and then I fence in the area so that they can feel a little bit more secure in their space, and I think it works out well. I also threw in some wild prairie grass, so if the feeders aren't full, as long as they are adult horses, they can eat just from the prairie grass itself. And then right here, we are starting on the physical building of the vet clinic, and I just made 2 boxes, just simple boxes here to get me started. And then I wanted to do a double gabled roof for this part, and I just pulled that back, and then just using a half-hipped roof here just to cover the rest of the area. It looks a little kind of plain at the moment, but I do end up adding some decoration to it after I make it match the roof of the paddock. And then right here in the front, we're going to start on the landing area in front of where the front door is going to go after I fiddle around with the roof a little bit more. I couldn't quite decide what I wanted to do with it, but we raise it up a little bit on a platform so I could add some stairs. And then I pull out this door from Horse Ranch because I thought it looked nice here. And then instead of pulling the eave out on the upper roof piece, I just add an awning from Seasons. And I think that it matches really, really well. The wood tone and the metal on the awning is really nice. Here's some roof decoration going in up top here. And I do use Tool Mod to lower it a little bit because it just seemed like it was floating a tiny, tiny bit. But I also changed the swatch on that later after I get the actual siding picked out for this building. Because at first I thought I wanted to just do a wood tone, but then I changed my mind. I went with this kind of tealish, I don't know, kind of worn out wood that came with Horse Ranch, and then also the platform trims from Horse Ranch, except for on the front porch that is just base game, and I thought it looked pretty realistic, and also some flagstone on the front. Then we're going to work on the inside, and I'm working on the floor plan, pull out an archway for the separation of the entryway to the rest of the room, and then it's pretty open concept in here except for the vet rooms themselves. So there's like a little seating area in front of the big windows, but in here in the entryway we have 2 of these little kiosks where your sim can check in their pets, because we all know that you need those. Need at least 1. I put in 2 just because I thought it filled out the room a little nicer. And then we also need one of these vending machines because that has all of the vet treats and the age up, age down, and all those good little treats that you might want to buy for your pet. That's pretty much all I do when my Sims have pets. I just go to the vet clinic and I buy a bunch of wellness treats so I don't ever have to come back here again. And that's kind of the idea. So I do end up putting 3 of those in. Now we're just working on the size of the exam rooms themselves. I picked out 2 of those tables. There's also like the surgery station over here, and I do put that over to the side, but I just wanted to get the window placement figured out, at least for those examination rooms, because they were kind of difficult to place. Those tables are actually, they take up a bigger footprint than I thought they would, so had to finagle that just a little bit. And then we are going to work our way into the bathroom space. I do pick out some stalls, and these ones are from University. They're just the most plain ones I could find. I didn't want ones that looked super grungy or like they had graffiti on them or that they were really worn down. I wanted them to look relatively new. So the ones from University came in this nice clean white swatch. And then the sink that I pick out is from Seasons, just this simple kind of slate looking sink with the white cabinets on the bottom. And then this mirror is from High School Years, just in a nice plain silver swatch. And then of course I do break out the bathroom clutter stuff. I just put a soap pump and then also a little soap bar on each sink, and that's pretty much it except for the paper towel dispensers. And then I think I also add a hand sanitizer right here between the door and the sinks because I thought that's a good spot to have it right before you head out the door. Now in these vet exam rooms, I do add like a nice little x-ray picture on each wall. One is of a cat skeleton, one is of a dog. So one room is like the cat room, one's the dog room. Obviously you can't specify that. Your sim's going to go to whatever room they are called to, but I figured it would be good to just give it a little bit of a difference in each room. And then I also off camera ended up adding a little section of countertop where I placed some of the veterinary tools and treats and stuff that you get from cats and dogs. But again, I did that off camera. That was a very last minute decision on my part, so I did not end up getting it on camera. There's also a cute little waiting area in each room, and I have the rug from, I think, Dream Home Decorator in each room, and then also just a base game chair. But now we're going to head into the surgery room, and I did also replace all of the lights too to these base game ones. They just look like doctor's office lights to me. I think they might be from Get to Work, actually. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. Here in the surgery room, though, I do add some of these same windows that I had in the exam rooms, just 2 of them, and then the same kind of sitting area on this side, same chairs and rug. Also ended up sizing the rug down a little bit because it didn't quite fit right, and because I like how that looked, I did the same thing in the exam rooms. I ended up sizing down those rugs because it just looked a little bit too big. Now we're back in the main section of the entryway to the hospital where you sit and wait for them to call you and your pet back. So we have some benches from, I believe those are either from Horse Ranch or Cottage Living. I think they're from Horse Ranch. And also some flower arrangements in like the milk jugs. I thought that was pretty cool. And then these curtains that I'm using Tool Mod to size down and also lower a little bit, those are from Cats and Dogs. And they do end up getting deleted at some point, but don't worry, I put them back. And then we have some wall decals also from Cats and Dogs. I moved them down a little bit so they are actually like just above where the wainscoting cuts off and the paint color begins. I thought that was really nice. I do continue that along the whole entirety of the rest of this room, but you'll only see it in bits and pieces because I wasn't trying to bore you. And then some more chairs here from Dream Home Decorator because I thought that the wood tone on the feet of the chairs matched really well with the rest of the wood tones in here. And also that green kind of helps break up a little bit more of the color. Then we're adding a nice cat tree over here. So I did have to rearrange this window placement because I didn't want it to be blocked by the cat tree. Some animal food bowls here, and I just changed the bowl color to be white. Some have dog bones, some have cat fish things on them, but again, the animals don't care. They're going to eat whatever food is there. And then I did also elongate the rooms slightly and just give it a little bit more interest. So I moved everything around in here, and then I changed the paint color on these walls. And here's where I sized down those rugs and moved the chairs over a little bit. And then I think that's pretty much it for the shape of this room. I also add a bag of food to the corner right next to each door. So one's like dog food, one's cat food, and then also completing the tile. Also, that tile is from the Country Kitchen kit, that blue tile that I use periodically in this build, and more curtains from Cats and Dogs. I tried not to use too many packs in this one because it is such a small building and it's a very simple building. It doesn't need a lot of clutter. So I tried to keep it pretty much just base game, Horse Ranch, a little bit of bathroom clutter, some Get to Work, Cats and Dogs. But I tried to keep it really, really simple. So, and obviously Dream Home Decorator, because I had to throw in that. I just can't help myself. That furniture is just so good. And then over here in the entryway, we're just finishing up in here. I'm going to add a nice plant to this corner and then a little bit of newspaper under the litter boxes here because the kitties also need somewhere to go. And then moving this cat scratching post over a little bit. I was trying to make it a little bit more interesting. And then I also add some wall lights to the wall here, just a cat and a dog light on the wall. And you'll also see those little things that I placed in the vet rooms. They're just kind of sitting on the floor, all those decorations for veterinary stuff that came with Cats and Dogs. Don't worry, they do get moved later on. Again, I placed them off camera because I didn't want it to be too boring for you. And some more ceiling lights going in. Those are from Cottage Living. I just placed them all throughout because I wanted enough light in here, but I also didn't want it to look too overfilled with like wall lights and such. And then these exam room lights, they just looked a little too clinical to put out in the main area where everybody's waiting. So got a little bit more of a comfortable living area or sitting area light. Back here at the horse paddock, we're just changing up the outer fence. So at first I wanted to use the log fencing, but then I changed my mind and went back with the paddock fencing. Also, that gate doesn't really go with the other fencing because it's too big. They didn't give us a matching fence gate for that, which is a shame. But here are the feeding troughs and the water bowls as well for the horse. And there's those 2 exercise balls I put there because the horse needs those. And then the prairie grass, obviously. I put it in this corner. And when I was playtesting with my sim who has a horse, everybody was able to get in and out of the gated area just fine. The horse was able to do everything they needed to do, and they were playing with the horse ball and they were eating and everybody was happy happy. So I'm glad that it all worked out in the end. I didn't have to rearrange anything too much. Also adding some more horse ranch clutter. I have some saddles on their stand here, as well as a little barrel with a little lantern on it. And then the arrangement of like cleaning supplies, the brooms and such. And then in the paddock itself, I added some of these hay rug pieces because I thought that it blended a little bit nicer. And then I added some terrain paint under there as well, to help everything really just kind of blend in really nice. And then here I am finishing up the roof piece here, because I did add another section and hadn't realized it. But that finished roof piece, I think, looks really nice all together. So I'm glad the roof came together better than it was. I was looking a little silly in my opinion. And now we have the front entryway gate. So I use this one from Horse Ranch, and I place the cow plant skull thing up top there, and then also a nice little horseshoe decoration on the side of the building, because I thought that was a nice nod to the horses. And of course a little cat and dog statue on either side of this entryway on the pillars. I use Tool Mod to place them exactly where they need to be so they're not floating, and then just maneuvering everything around so it fits. Before we start the terrain paint, I just use this like river rock kind of terrain paint to get it started, and then I covered it with a little bit of dirt so that it would look a little bit more blended in. And then I add some more of these low-lying little bush things, and they came with the Horse Ranch debug. I really like those. They're really nice, and they have a matching one with flowers on it. So I kind of alternate those back and forth, as well as these big bush pieces, because again, they just match really nicely, and they came with the pack. So some more tall grass as well, just to blend everything together and make it look really nice and kind of overgrown, but also well maintained, because I assume that somebody maintains this. I don't know whom, but somebody maintains this property pretty well, because they have to take in a lot of customers. They want it to look nice. Also some of these big purple lavender bushes, and then I also add some of these little clumps of grass just at the front entryway. So again, so it blends in a little bit nicer and looks like it actually belongs here, like this building's been here for a little bit of time. And then after I get done framing this whole space in with more of these low-lying plants and bushes with the flowers on it, I think that's pretty much it for this space, at least for now. I also added some of those lovely like barrel planters up on the front porch, and those are from Cats and Dogs as well, because again, I wanted to make sure I used pretty limited packs, but I wasn't trying to limit my packs. I figured whatever I used, I would just try to use a little bit of something from each of them so that it made sense to have them counted in this very small build. Also some more lanterns here where the horse paddock is, and then I also added some to the rest of the build. And here is a lovely sign that came with Cats and Dogs, and these decals just snap right to it. So I thought that was a really nice fit, and it kind of made that side of the building a little bit more interesting because it's just a couple windows and it's pretty flat. I wanted it to look really nice for everybody to enjoy, and some vines and some more plants. And I'm pretty sure after all of the vines and the plants get added, that is it. So I do want to take the opportunity to reach out and say thank you to all of my new subscribers. And if you guys would like to see anything else, I know that we have a new pack coming out. So if you want to see anything else before that pack comes out, let me know in the comments. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe and tell your friends if you enjoy this content and you know other simmers and other YouTube watchers who enjoy this content, because I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for being here for me. And I would love to see what you want me to build. And then we are going to come up on our live mode footage very soon. I just changed the swatch on that upper roof decoration, and then I'm changing the piece on the roof here to the regular log siding, and also some trim to the rest of the building. And that is pretty much it for this build. So thank you so much for being here today. Here's a little live mode footage of our Sims running in and out. I also did change the outfits of the vets in the different gendered outfits. They each have like a pair of outfit that has like a cowboy hat and really horse ranch type clothing associated, and then the other one is like a teal one with some teal gloves. That's from Home Chef Hustle, and then just a regular light blue scrubs with the gloves as well. So I think it's really fun. And my sim here that you see with the plumb bob over her head, she brought her little baby horse with her, and they were just frolicking around and having the best time ever. So if you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe and check it out. It is up on the gallery now, and I look forward to hearing what you guys want to see next, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye guys.